This program, we just save this file, right? We save this file by picking up the date, time, temperature, and location from the user, and these values are actually picked up. Temperature value is picked up from Pico, Raspberry Pi Pico 0, and this date and time is picked up from the server. So we saved it inside the file temp here, this one, temp.txt, and we're gonna now write a program to actually pick up this data from the file and write a program where we ask the user to enter time, and based on that time we will print the temperature for it. At that time, what was the temperature, and we can also print the date and location for it as well if you like. So let's start up with the new program now, right? Here, what first thing first, we need to define a list to store the weather data. So we call it weather, WD. Okay, we can call it weather data. WD means weather data, and it will be an empty list like this. Okay, and then obviously we need to open that file, right? F is equal to, now we're just gonna open it, and we don't have to actually pass any parameter because we're just gonna read that file. What is the name of the file? Temp data.txt, right? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna read line by line in the file, split. This is a file, right? So we're gonna pick up this file data, read line by line, like these are multiple lines, read line by line, split this data with comma. So wherever the comma comes, it split the data. So that in a list that we can append the weather list, we can add the date, the time, the temperature, and the location in a separate variable. First, we need to save everything in a separate variable, split with the comma, and then we're gonna add all this into a data dictionary, and then we're gonna print it on the screen and also ask the user to enter the data so that we can actually enter the time so that we can give him a temperature. So let's do one thing at a time. First thing, we open the file. Next thing we need to do is we run a for loop. So we can say for line, we can write down line here, or we can just say for L in file, mean for each line in file, right? And sorry, you have to say line here. We can say line in file, right? For line in file, what we say is we say that it's gonna pick up each line, right? So we're gonna say for line in file, we're gonna split the data and save it into a variable. So what we could do is we could do this date, comma, time. So these are the variable we are defining. We can say temp, temperature, then we can say LOC, location. Okay, and we say line dot split because you're gonna pick up one line at a time. So we're gonna say line dot, first we say line dot strip. Why? Because line dot strip will remove any empty spaces around line. For example, you're gonna pick up this line, right? This line here. So if there are any empty spaces on this side or that side, it's gonna strip it, right? So this strip basically does just that. Okay, and then we're gonna say split, 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 and here we say split with what? We say with comma. You see here what we did here? We said split with comma, what? The line. First strip it, dot, split it with the comma, and the first word, for example, wherever the comma comes, for example, like this, right? There are data, right? Like this, and there are comma. So first, when it's split with the comma, the first data will come into date, the second data will come into time, then temperature, then location, in the same order in which we have actually defined these variables. So this is going to strip line by line. So it means is, if we look at this data, so this date will come into date after comma, split it, then this will come into time, this will come into temperature, and this will come into location here. This one come into location, right? So I'm going to go back to my program. So this will give me the splitted lines and date, time, temperature, and this location. Once I have that, then what I could do is I could simply do WD. WD is my empty dictionary here. You see this one here, wd equal wd dot append, right? Wd dot append like this, right? And append with what? This is how you do with the list. So this time I'm appending it with dictionary. So what I do is I put this one like this bracket, small curly bracket in within the small bracket. So I say append, and within that I put the curly bracket, and within the curly bracket I basically put a dictionary. So I say location. This is the key, right? Remember in the dictionary I told you about the key, all right? Location would be what? Location. Okay, then what is this now? If I look at it, this is a key location, but this is the actual data location, this one, right? I don't have to do this, so I could do it in the same order in which we are basically doing it. I could even do it better order. I could do it date, first date, right? I could say date, right, like this, date, and then I could date is equal to what? Date. Then I have what? The second is time, right? So I could say time is equal to what? Time. I could do in this one I could do capital this one, time. Then I have date, time, and then I need what is the third one? Temperature. So I could say temp, and this temp I could do small letter here, temp, small temp, right? Then I say what is the last one? Location with capital here, and here I could do location like this. Now if you look at it, I'm in this dictionary, I'm creating a key date, and I'm putting this date in it, right? Then time, and this time variable value in it. Then temp, and this is basically this temp variable. Location, and this is this variable here, location. And this way I can append this whole dictionary with the data which I just picked up from the file, split it with a comma using this loop. So this loop is going to carry on running until end of the file. So it will run for the first line first, pick up data, put into dictionary, then this, then this, then this, and all the way up to here. Now I'm going to go back to my program, and this is how I did it. Now I can just see and print it first. Now I can just print and see if it basically print my WD, okay, and just see what happens here. I'm printing, by the way, outside the loop, so that when the loop finishes, then it prints. So let's run this here, check what happens. Oh, error, line 7. So line 7 is here. What is a comma? I'm supposed to put comma here. You see, comma. You have to put comma after everything except the last one. You don't need to put the comma at the last location, but here you need to put comma. And now line 3. What is the problem with line 3? For line in file. Oh, it's not a file. It's basically F. This is F, my friend, not file. Okay, it's F for line in F. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So it, see, it picked up the data, and what I printed this WD, right? If you look at it, it has printed my whole dictionary here. You see here? If you look at it, time, okay, then it says date, because what happens is I say date, okay, then I said time, then I said temperature, then I said location. So it's sort of like picked up its own sort of like way. Time, date, temp, location, right? Then time, date, you can say in its own sort of like, you know, order. Time, date, temp, location, time, date. So it's pick up all the data, put it into these keys. Now I have this. Next thing, because I have keys as well, so you need to obviously practice dictionary before you do this. You need to know what dictionary is. And what I'm going to do now is ask the user for time, right? I'm going to ask the user for I say user time. This is user enter time, right? User time. And I would say input. And what would I say? Enter time. In which format, right? You need to put the time in which format. You're gonna put the time in right, I'm gonna put the time in maybe HH MM SS format. And the problem here would be the HS is 2 words, but here time is only given in 7 single thing. So if it's a 7, you just put 7 rather than 07, right? And MM and SS. So here we go. And then we're going to actually do this, okay, and get the user input. And once we have the user input, then we're going to do a for loop and go through all the records in the WD, which is our dictionary, yeah, for record in dictionary. And we say if record sub and because we entered the user time, right, user time, record sub time, right? This is what we're going to compare it against, time, right? This time here, this one, right? We're going to compare it against this time. So here we need to put here record sub time like this, and we say if record sub time is equal to the time entered by the user. And what is user enter time? User underscore time. Okay, if that is the case, then you should just print the result. And you say here the temperature at, right, and then you say time, right? User time, comma, is, comma, and then you just print the temperature here by saying record. Or rather this, you can just print the whole record, right? You can print the whole record. I don't need to give this commentary. I just print the record, right? So what happening here is it asks the user to enter the time and is check all the record in the WD. This is the WD I printed here, as you see here. What I did is in about program, I pick up the data from the file, put into WD, right, like this, and it's printed here. Now I'm asking the user to enter the time. When user enter the time, it will check each record for record in WD, each record, if the record sub time, which means this field only, this key, this one, right, this one, it will only compare the time, not all the location, not anything else, just the time. If record sub time is equal to the time entered by the user, right, this is the one here, then print the record. All you have to do is print the record. So let's do and run this and see if it works or not. Okay, here we are. Oh, first line 14. What is the error now? For for record in not DWD, it's just record in DWD like this. Why is it in D? Here you go. So see here, it's asking me now about the time. I'm gonna move it slightly up so you can see it. It's asking me about the time. So I put this time for, let's say I put the time this one, or I could put time maybe I'll put the time here, last one. What is the last time? The last one is what is the last time? This one, 7:15:15, right? I put this one and it give me the whole row, this one, right? This whole row it will give me. So right, okay. Here, what is 15? 7, 15, 15. So user asked me to enter the time. I entered this time. So it's going to give me this record. At this time, temperature was this one, right? So give me this record. And I'm going to enter it. Here we go. See here? But this time, it give me this record here. See? This is the temperature. 32.19407. And location was Jeddah. So it gives me the record. So this is how you can write your own program where you ask the user to enter the time and it give you the location. You can ask the user to enter the date as well and it give you the date. So if I ask the user to enter the date instead of time, because date is same, right? Date is same, so it's going to print all the, if I enter the date, because date is same, so it will print all the records. Because time is just 5, this time 5:15 is only one time. Yeah, so that's why it's only give one record, because time changes every second. Because you see here, first time the time was 5:15, 6, and then 7, then 8. Yeah, but the date is always same. So if I say here, instead of enter the time, and I say enter the date, right? So it will give me DD MM I say enter the date, mmyy. Okay, or enter the location. Let's say enter the location. Enter location. Location is Jeddah, right? So you give me the, oh, because all the temperature is for Jeddah, so it'll give me all the lines, right? So and then I have to do is I have to here compare this one record with the location. Location is equal to user lock. I can call it user lock. Yeah, user lock. I can call this variable user lock. Right. So now user enter the location into user lock and say in the record it check if the record sublocation is equal to user lock. It will basically print all the records. So let's see. Let's do this again. Now here I'm running it again. I'm gonna do Jeddah, right? Because all the temperature are for Jeddah, so it will print everything Jeddah. Here you go, see, it printed everything. But if I put a location which is not Jeddah, let's say which is I say Riyadh, it will not give me that. See, nothing is given me. Now let's do a bit of tampering with the data. Here I don't say Jeddah, I say Jeddah, I say Riyadh. I just change the file myself rather than going back to the program and changing it. Here I say London, right? Now what would I do is I save this file. Now I saved this file is saved on the screen on the drive, and I run this program again. And this time I say Riyadh. It'll give me the where is the Riyadh, by the way? Riyadh is basically, if you look at it, Riyadh is this one. There's one Riyadh, so it will give me one Riyadh. There you go, see, it give me Riyadh location. If I say London, now there's one record with London as well now, right? London, which record is it with London? If I look at the file, London is this, 32.19.405 at 579, right? This one. So it'll give me this one London, one here. Here you go, see, you give me the London. So this way you can find location or whatever you like. You can try out the date as well and find it for yourself. Thank you very much for watching.